Greetings and welcome. At the end of February, my son's youth basketball team finished its season, which I was the coach of. A couple days before last game, I texted all the parents and invited the boys to our local ice cream shop and treated them to a treat as an end of the year celebration on me. Towards the end of the time there, a grandparent approached me and asked if I was the coach, which I answered I was. And then he slipped me a $20 bill, which I tried desperately to refuse, and the more I tried, the more determined he was to give it to me. I relented and thanked him, and he thanked me for a season of happiness for his grandchild. So I had $20 I wasn't expecting to have, and my local card show was happening the following day. So I thought I'd buy the best card I could find with this $20. And when I get to the show, I just kept thinking back of how great of a season we had and the generosity of this child's grandfather, and realized I didn't want the best card I could find for $20. I wanted the best card I could find that would represent our basketball season. So I started thinking about the previous 3 months of basketball. In our town's league, we play a citywide rec league basketball, and the rosters are done through a draft from all the volunteer coaches. The team that I drafted, there were only 2 out of the 10 who had ever played basketball before, my son being one of them. At our first practice, I had them choose their name, and they came to an agreement on the Bulls. So I wanted a Bulls card of someone. My first thought was finding a card from the 2023-2024 Prism set, just to signify our season year. But even though we were the Bulls, none of the kids knew any of the current Bulls, and there wasn't really a card I could find that signified our team, which led me to the 90s Bulls. We had kids who could rebound like Rodman, but thankfully none of them had a personality that matched, so he was out. I thought Pippen, but defense wasn't our greatest strength, besides probably leading our league in steals, so he was out. Which led me, of course, to Jordan. Jordan is the Bulls' leader in steals, so I set off looking for a defensive card. And there were several I found that would be perfect, but the problem was they were all over the $20 I wanted to spend. And for me, it was important to only spend the $20 that I was gifted. And I wanted to buy a graded copy because I wanted to display the card. Now, there's worse things to do than sifting through cards of Michael Jordan. But I also had to eliminate all of the images of him dunking. I coached first and second graders. And I kept seeing this 1992 Stadium Club Members' Choice of Jordan. And the more I saw it, the more it just felt right. When I view this card, I see a confident Jordan, borderline arrogant, and just the visual we came to expect with him, and knew he was going to deliver. As I mentioned, though, there were 8 kids who had never played basketball before on my team. We had 3 one-hour practices before our first game, and I was a little stressed or anxious just trying to get everything in so they could be prepared for the very first basketball game. But long story short, several parents came up to me and just kind of told me how their kids were nervous about their first game. And a few of the kids asked if I was nervous. I said, no, I've done everything I can in practice to make sure you guys are ready, and I'm very confident you are. Just go out and have fun, and there's nothing to be nervous about. And after a couple trips up and down the court, you could see the nerves shaking free and the fun of the game taking over. But as the practices and games continued on, the confidence of the kids just kept skyrocketing. And there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And as a team, we definitely crossed that line many times. But as we waited for the game before us to conclude, and it was our turn to take the court, when I saw this card, it reminded me of the swagger our team had before every game. Even the most timid kid, who was one of my favorites, had gained the confidence to shoot the ball when he was open and didn't look to pass as fast as he got the ball. He made 4 shots in our second to last game and 3 in our last game, and then told me basketball is the only sport he likes. which definitely made me smile, as did many of the other compliments. I had a parent say that his son only loves soccer, but now when he's at soccer practice, all he asks is when he can go to basketball again. And to me, that's a success. I love basketball, and I have a passion for it, and my main goal is to try to pass my passion on to the kids and let them enjoy the greatness the sport is and be able to coach some skills along the way. It was a fantastic season, and I'm really happy now to have this card to remind me of those memories. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your collection.